Joker 2019. Now, when I went to see this movie, I was sure that Joaquin Phoenix was not going to be able to top Heath Ledger. And I had some very strong comments about Heath Ledger too. Actually, that was my favorite character of all time. Until I saw Joker 2019. And so now, Joaquin Phoenix, he just nailed it. He nailed it. But you have to remember why the Joker is such a popular movie. It's not because, well, it is. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix's acting was unprecedented. I mean, in fact, he lost 62 pounds. And the way he just completely embodied the concept of the Joker was pretty uncanny. It was just a privilege to watch it. But what it really exposes to me, and what I really love about the movie, was it's really just about being who you are, and not buying into the hypocrisy of what society is. I mean, I deal with it every day because of, I don't know, man. In Las Vegas, there's so many Bible thumpers here, and people that are against cannabis, and there's so many people here that are full of shit. But at the same token, you can understand where they're coming from. Everyone's trying to find their own way. What the Joker does, it just exposes why it's so just goddamn important just to be yourself, man. Be yourself. I mean, what you really see, people say we're descending it into evil, descending into good. Man, that's just a crocodile. Okay, I'm a stoic. I'm getting ahead of myself. Being a stoic means I just do the things that I want to do, that I can control the best that I can. And then whatever fucking happens, happens. Okay? And I'm not buying the bullshit. Okay? It's like Bible thumpers will say, I don't know, not to dig on organized religion, but anytime people are involved, it's never a perfect system. It's always going to be built in hypocrisy. Like in Las Vegas, for example, we'll lock up people for weed. The jails will be full of people trying to sell weed. This is before it became legal 2 years ago. I mean, the jails were full, literally full, packed. But when EDC comes to town, there's 100,000 people. Now, you got to think, the people locked up for weed are primarily minorities. Then you have 100,000 basically Caucasian kids here. And I'm half Caucasian. I'm just stating a fact. 100,000 kids are stuck in the deserts doing methamphetamines, cocaine, crack, marijuana, LSD. They're tripping out. And guess what they get? They get amnesty. They get an amnesty bus for 4 days. They can walk in there strung out on coke, smoking a joint, about to inject some heroin. They'd be perfectly fine. No one's going to jail. Because why? Because it's the right demographic. So I'm just basically talking about it. Okay. All right. So let's back up. Okay. So what the Joker did was basically he just had to eventually become himself, and he did. He eventually became himself, and he exposed the hypocrisy of the system. I mean, the real monster in this entire movie was his father, who was definitely his father, who looked just like him. But because he's rich, he's a good guy. He punches his own son in the face because he wants to deny the fact that he had a son with his secretary. He puts his secretary in an insane asylum, convinces her that her son is adopted, and also makes her think that he's going to come back and get her. And she lives a horrible life. Her son gets abused, and he completely discards him because it's not a good look for him. But he's an upstanding citizen, right? This guy's going to hold public office. But he's supposed to be the example everyone follows. His two employees, who are these rich guys, come down, they try to harass a young girl in the subway. They're the biggest pricks you've ever seen. But because they work for him, we're supposed to mourn the loss of their two valuable lives. And the Joker brings up a very good point. I killed these two guys because they work for me. All of a sudden, they're good people. If I was bleeding in the center of the street, you'd walk right over me. And so I think what the Joker basically says in the movie, and I could do this all night. I had a long conversation with my friend Bobby last night about it, is that you have to choose your own values for yourself and do what's best for you. And don't worry about what other people are telling you. You're not going to tell me that some monk 3,000 years ago taking a dump in a cave, writing in a book, is going to dictate your life. Or some priest who bangs little boys on the side is going to teach you how to be a man. You decide for yourself what are the values that make you valuable. You decide for yourself what rules you're going to follow, what rules you're not going to follow. You decide for yourself who you really are. Like the part where he says, put on a happy face, he starts crying. That was a very powerful point because his mother kept telling him to put on a happy face. What for? He's had the worst fucking life on the planet. Just be yourself, man. Forget the looking glass. There's a term. Howard Mead created a term called the looking glass self, which means you act the way your family wants you to act because they're staring at you. Okay, the Joker puts all that shit to bed. What I love about the Joker is no, dude, just be yourself, man. Just be yourself. Like I work in cannabis. A lot of my family members wish I was back to being a school teacher, principal, whatever it is, like being listen, I do whatever the fuck I want, the way I want to do it. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Because last I checked, it's one to a coffin. And what the Joker does, he lets people, he like finally becomes himself. But unfortunately, because of the abomination of a life that he's had, he's a villain. He has to be a villain. That's all he has left. He's a villain to society, but he's not a villain to me. He's just being himself. Yeah, he's a maniacal, crazy bastard. But he's finally being himself. And he has the courage to do it. And he should be applauded for that. And I think everyone should look at that and say, look, what is my Joker? What is really me? Like, stop the fucking fake smiles. Stop the fake living. Stop living for other people. Live for yourself. What is the true you? Grab your fucking balls and be yourself. Or you're already dead anyway. You're going to live like the Joker, smiling on the outside, but you're dying on the inside. Why would you do that to yourself? Okay, that's my views on the Joker 2019. It's a great movie. Best movie. Hands down, the best movie I've ever seen in my life.